Hello, everybody, and welcome to Friday Apocryphal Podcast, your one-stop shop for everything Friday Apocryphal and podcast. And boy, do we have a show for you today. Today, we are covering Sirach chapters 48 through 51.
Bam, we did it.
We did, and we're finishing Sirach today.
Yes, we're finishing Sirach.
Yeah, if you remember last week, he was being very praisey about a whole lot of people like Solomon and David and Joshua.
Yeah.
All those people. It's being very praisey. So that continues here. But then at the end of the book, there are some additions, a little personal note we get. It kind of all wraps it up into one
Does
nice
he
little
thank
bow.
the reader for reading?
No.
Ooh.
He almost does. It's very close to that.
Okay. He should. He should thank you for reading.
Yeah, I mean it's a lot and kind of dull in many places.
Yeah. And it's pretty outrageous in many places.
Also, yes.
Yeah. You should add a little note. You should be like, yeah, I know I'm not the best author in the world, but thanks for giving it a shot.
I think that was like the end of Ecclesiastes, or Ecclesiastics.
Ecclesiastes is what you're thinking of.
Yeah,
Yes.
you're right. And the grandfather or his grandson says thanks for trying to read it. Remember?
What?
The editor says
The editor says
thanks.
that. I think the editor is his grandson.
In Ecclesiastes, no.
No?
No.
Oh, I thought so.
No, this is so you're mixing them up.
Yeah.
So because
you're already doing it.
Because Ben Sira.
Jeez, I meant the Kohelet's book. God damn it.
Yeah, that's the one that you're talking
No,
about.
Kohelet's grandson was the one who.
No.
No?
No.
Really? You sure?
Yes.
Fuck, I'm mixing that up. Damn.
Yeah, he's doing the thing where you mix up Ecclesiastes and Ecclesiasticus.
Yeah.
It's too easy.
He's doing the thing.
God, what a bummer.
Shouldn't have been reading them concurrently.
But you know what isn't a bummer?
What isn't?
On Sunday, we are going to have Aaron Raw on the show.
Amazing.
Yeah, so that's not a bummer at all.
That's the least bummerific thing I've heard all day.
Yeah, and there's another not very bummerific thing.
What?
Yes, the other day.
Two non-bummerific things.
The other day, the video on the Council of Ephesus.
Yes.
Went live. Yeah, so if you haven't seen that, if you want to learn about the Council of Ephesus, it's there for you.
Yes, I saw the video about the Council of Emphasis, and it's very good. It's a good video. Our people should enjoy it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Hopefully you like that. But anyways, that's the stuff we gotta talk about. I don't know why that Bible is upside down.
Is there a better way?
It's a prop.
I mean,
You
it
know
doesn't
what?
really matter.
When you have a Hebrew Bible,
Yeah.
right, you read it right to left.
Okay,
And
so you're doing it the proper way.
This is the real way.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Just flip it.
we can.
I could. Yeah, I very easily could. There you go.
Good job.
Thank you. And I mean, I don't really have any introductory notes for these, honestly.
Okay.
Although, yeah, sure, why not? I have one.
Okay. Well, I have an introductory note.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, chapter
do yours
48
first.
starts in the middle of a sentence. There wasn't a period at the last bit of chapter 47.
And
is
it just continuing?
It's just continuing. It's part of the same stanza, same sentence.
Weird.
Yep.
I mean, mine ends.
Yeah?
Yeah. Yeah, it does.
No, not in here.
Bummer. That's the word of the day, bummer.
Bummer.
It's been coming back.
Yep.
Anyways, I do have a note here. Unlike the chronicler, who virtually ignores the history of the Northern Kingdom, Ben Sira focuses on the activity of the two prophets from the 9th century, passing over in silence the prophetic ministry of Amos and Hosea a century later. So, of course, we're going to be talking about Elijah and Elisha, those great guys. And, we're going to have a little bit of commentary on something that we were actually wondering about when we were doing the readings.
Oh.
We're getting portion of their soul. Remember when Elijah ascended or whatever?
Yeah, when he gained Elijah's powers, Elisha got
Yeah.
he
So
leveled up.
we're gonna talk about what it meant to get like a double portion of the soul. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So let's hop into it then. To like a fire there appeared the prophet whose words were as a flaming furnace. Their staff of bread he shattered. In his zeal he reduced them to straits.
Yeah, so from Malachi 3:19, Ben Sira derives the metaphor for Elijah's word as a hot furnace. But most of the references come from 1 Kings 17 through 19 and 2 Kings 1 through 2.
Now, where's the staff of bread?
Yeah, I have a staff of bread written there. And that was, let's see, I think that's in here somewhere. It wasn't an actual staff of bread.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's when he was making food. It was a food miracle.
A food miracle.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. A staff of bread.
In verse 2. Yeah.
Yeah, in verse 2. The wording of 48:2a derives from Leviticus 26:26, Ezekiel 4:16, 5:16, 14:13, Isaiah 3:1. Bread is the staff of life.
Ah, okay. That's really it.
They are the basis of that common maxim. All right. So that's all there is for it. It's a maxim.
No, he had a food miracle, didn't he? Where he helped a woman make a bunch of was it bread or oil or what was it?
Oil.
Right. They didn't have enough materials to eat. So it was like, okay, just go to these pots. And then he had like an infinite pot, essentially.
Yeah, but maybe that
infinite,
wasn't the
but
bread one.
It was a ton because she could sell it for profit
Yeah,
afterwards.
exactly.
But not infinite.
Yeah, but a ridiculously large amount.
Yeah.
Okay. By God's word, he shut up the heavens and 3 times brought down fire. How awesome are you, Elijah, whose glory is equal to yours? I guess maybe Elisha.
Yeah.
Yeah. You brought a dead child back to life from the netherworld by the will of the Lord. He's not the only one.
No, but he did. It did say that he did that
But it's like,
by doing a really weird.
in one verse, they're like, whose glory is equal to yours? Here's something that you did that other people have done.
Yeah.
Like, okay. You sent kings down to destruction and nobles from their beds of sickness. You heard threats at Sinai, at Horeb, avenging judgments. You anointed the bearer of these punishments, the prophet, to succeed to your place. You were taken aloft in a whirlwind by fiery captors heavenward.
One of the notes here from Erdman's, you know what we didn't even do? Introduce our translations.
Oh, no, we didn't. Yeah, I have the Anchor Bible version of the Wisdom of Ben Sira. New translation with notes by Patrick W. Scahan, introduction commentary by Alexander A. DeLulla.
And I have the translation of the Wisdom of Ben Sira, also known as Ecclesiasticus, from W.O.E. Osterley.
We also have Eerdman's commentary on the Bible.
Yes, and the New Interpreter's Bible Commentary. There you go. That's the stuff that we're using.
Yep.
Man, how do we forget that?
I don't know.
Well, because you had such an in-sync intro that you thought, man, we're great. And then you fucked up a little.
I don't think I've ever thought that.
Oh. Well, it was subconscious. You can't,
why
reach
didn't
that.
you introduce your books?
That's a good question. I don't know. Why
you
didn't
were
I?
here.
I was.
You have just as much an answer as I do.
Either way, from Erdman's, he prefers to note Elijah's miracles rather than his opposition to Baal worship, another significant omission.
That was the best part.
That was a really good part. I don't know if it was the best.
It was the best part.
You think so?
It was like a diss track in the Bible. It was like as close as you're gonna get. Like, I mean, maybe there's something, but really, like, he just goes in there and insults people, and like he talks shit. That's the entire thing.
Yeah.
It's great. It's the best part of his story.
I kind of like the ascension part. That was pretty interesting.
Yeah, that was okay, but that was, I mean, we had already seen that before. Pretty early on, Enoch did that.
Yeah, but not in the same way.
Not in the same way, but
On Fiery Whirlwind.
Fiery Whirlwind's pretty cool, but like getting into a diss battle with some Baal worshippers. By the way, we've got Baal.
We do.
Yep, we got our golden
wonderful
calf.
friend. Yeah.
Wonderful. Anyways, let's continue. You are destined, it is written, in time to come to put an end to wrath before the day of the Lord, to turn back the hearts of parents toward their children, and to reestablish the tribes of Israel.
Yeah. So in verse 10, that was verse 10, right?
Mhm.
Yeah. The words "it is written" are usual formula for citing scripture. Here, Malachi 4:5-6. But the later popular tradition, based on those verses in Malachi, that Elijah would return before the Messiah comes, receives no mention here. Another of the notable omissions by Sirach, who seems to show no knowledge of such a coming Messiah. And also, maybe it was, before they got all messianic, or maybe where he was, maybe his particular sect wasn't very messianic, because I guess you could
Maybe it was a theme that was so overdone in Ben Sira's time that he either didn't want to mention it out of concern for appearing too stereotypical, or
perhaps that seems like a thing that he would do.
or like maybe he didn't think it was worth mentioning because it was so well known.
Although some further stuff here. The phrase "to reestablish the tribes of Israel" appears in Isaiah 49:6 and Sirach 48:10-11. It gives way to uncertain speculation about people who saw Elijah. Apparently, it contains a play on the ancient account of Elisha's persistence in seeing his master ascend to heaven, but in the present form, it is confused with a blessing on those who might see Elijah's return to earth.
Okay. Blessed is he who shall have seen you before he dies. A bunch of dots. There's a note. There was undoubtedly a second colon in the original text, but what it contained is no longer evident. For 11a, manuscript B has some words. Enough of the final doubt is preserved.
So is it some Greek words or some...
It's some skeletal text, some consonantal text.
Gotcha, okay.
Enough of the final it's Hebrew, is preserved so that there can be no reasonable doubt this is to be read Asre with Greek and Syriac Ra'akawamat, and so Seagull. The missing 11b should have contained a reason of sorts for this paradoxical statement, understood as in the translation given here. Greek of 11a, makaroi hoi aidontes se kai hoi en agapesi, kek oi
Yeah, okay,
it
you want to
has
just...
kek oi meme noi. Look at that. Look at that Greek. Kek oi
and you know
meme
what?
Oi.
It doesn't even have the actual Greek. But it's like just a transliteration.
Yeah.
But
With a whole bunch of like dialectical
I
markers.
really, why don't they actually have the Greek? Usually these have...
It would be nice.
Yeah, okay. That's interesting. All right. That's strange. Usually it has that. It would be
It has
actually
both
it would be
kek
easier.
and meme.
I know.
In that one word.
I know.
Wonderful.
Although it would be actually a lot easier to read if it was in the Greek.
I agree. Puts this into the plural and softens it by expansion, Blessed are those who shall have seen you, and they who shall have fallen asleep in the love of God. Whether the more usual Greek reading kekos mimnoi, who are adorned with love, was a deliberate or an accidental modification cannot be said. The agapese itself, in the sense of the love of God for humans and humans of God, presents a favorable theme in terms of the G2, different Greek manuscript, glossator, which, however, has already had its roots in G1, different manuscript. Yet in this present place, Smend is almost certainly correct in seeing agapese as a later reading based on an earlier kai en anapause, kaikoi memenoi. The omitted hoi will have been part of this reinterpretation, who shall have seen you, and then laid to rest. This relates to the grandson's usage in the similar verse 38:23. To 11b of G, Greek manuscript. Given above as a modified form of the text, the corresponding Syriac has blessed is he who shall have seen you and died. But he shall not die, but shall certainly live. Out of these data, plus the tail of a long letter surviving early in the space for the eaten away 11b in manuscript B, and a heh that survives at the end of the colon, Siegel reconstructs the Hebrew 11b, a bunch of words that are still consonantal. It's like ki aphu hayo tihya, who it is that may have been said to certainly live in his final colon, is settled differently by different students of the text. For Smend is Elijah. He reads some stuff. Siegel follows the indication in Greek and understands his reconstruction of manuscript B to speak of the individual who will have seen Elijah before dying. He too shall certainly live. In view of the strong evidence that Ben Sira did not believe in the resurrection of the dead, Siegel is hard to conjure up the possibility of a few meritorious individuals, he does not say like Elijah himself, for whom the author might have allowed an exception. But if the Syriac is already a modified text, in verse 10 of Sirach, Siegel sees a Christian influence, perhaps already its source and that of Greek and even manuscript B were modified in this place. Could the original Hebrew 11b, not represented in manuscript B, have read Ki ap anahu noah nanua, for we too shall certainly come to rest, in the sense of the Nuhat Olam of Sirach 30:17b, then Chayo Nihya would have been a tempting amelioration by the grandson's day. Latin strangely managed to minimize Greek's wording with, for we live our lives only, but after our death, our fame will not be such as his. So there's a lot going on there.
Because the Hebrew is all messed up.
Yep.
So they got to rely on the Greek, and
the Greek's been edited by Christians. And
at least in some manuscripts, yeah.
Yep.
So,
Whoops. Yep.
yeah.
Great. When Elijah was enveloped in the whirlwind, Elisha was filled with his spirit. All right, let's see. Twice as many signs he wrought, and marvels with every utterance of his mouth.
So, I don't know if you remember this, but now see, I didn't count. I didn't count the amount of signs or miracles that Elijah and Elisha did.
I don't believe it was twice as
It
many.
was not. It definitely was not
I
twice.
feel like it's referring to the potency.
There's also a little bit that we can talk about because this is a reference to the double portion
And
that Elisha
there's
received.
an internal contradiction there too, because verse 4 of this same chapter says, whose glory is equal to yours.
Yeah.
And then you immediately follow it with another person who you're like, oh yeah, everything that he did, this guy did twice as much.
Yeah, and the
Or as
thing
powerfully.
is, Ben Sira actually is misunderstanding that verse. Now, we had a lot of questions when that verse came up. So let's see what these commentaries have to say about it. Verse 12 serves as a transition from praising Elijah to lauding his successor. But Ben Sira misunderstands the concept of inheriting a double portion to mean twice as much, rather than twice one's equal share, the portion received by the oldest son. This confusion leads Ben Sira to say that Elisha performed twice as many signs as did his master.
Yeah, because I don't think he did.
No.
I definitely, if he did, we were not told about it.
We're keeping track, yeah.
Yeah. So Elisha is claiming the double inheritance that the eldest son of a family receives. Thus, Elisha claims to be Elijah's successor.
His life long he feared no one, nor was any able to intimidate his will. Nothing was beyond his power. From where he lay buried, his dead body prophesied. In life, that is a little different.
Which verse again?
Verse 13.
Yeah, nothing was too wonderful for him, and from his grave his flesh prophesied. Remember that was the whole thing where his body was thrown into the hole, and there was already a dead body in there, and the dead body came back to life. That's what that's a reference to.
A dead man cast into Elisha's grave came back to life and rose to his feet.
Oh, was it? Okay, so the dead man was cast into
13:21.
Okay.
Yeah.
Either way, but yeah, that's what that's a reference to.
Interesting. I forgot about that.
No, that was cool.
Yeah.
And I also thought it was the other way around, but yeah.
Okay. Just in life he performed wonders, and after death marvelous deeds. Despite all this, the people did not repent, nor did they cease their sinning until they were rooted out of their land and scattered over the earth.
You know, and even then, they still didn't really stop.
No.
Because if we're looking at it historically, their religion would have gotten even more syncretic. They couldn't follow all the temple stuff, right? Because the temple, and even in Ben Sira's time, it would have been the influence of Greek Hellenism, which he himself adopted, at least in a little bit. So I don't know who Ben Sira is, who he thinks he is. He must be some kind of schmuck.
Who do you think you are?
A schmuck?
Yeah, he's a schmuck.
He's a schmuck. Ben Sira, he's calling you a schmuck. But now we're in a different section, right? Still same chapter. We're talking about Judah, Hezekiah, and Isaiah.
Yes.
Oh, and Isaiah, we're covering Isaiah in our Sunday show.
We are.
Yep. So if anyone here is watching and wants to check it out, on Sunday, we're covering Isaiah still.
Going to be in there for a while.
Yep.
We haven't started yet.
Yep. But Judah remained a tiny people with its ruler from the house of David. Some of them did what was right, but others were extremely wicked.
Yeah, so the thing is, most of them were pretty wicked. Most of the names that are listed and that are given, a value judgment, most of them are listed as wicked.
Mm-hmm.
And even if they're listed as good, there would always be a little footnote that
About
basically
those damn
said
high places.
those
that they
damn
left.
high places.
Yep, but they
He
didn't remove the high places.
did not remove them.
Or they just let them come back.
Yep.
That was always another problem.
Yeah, that too. So it's like, then they were good, but they weren't good enough. So
Not
I don't
good
know.
enough.
although
Close, but no cigar.
Although the Deuteronomistic history gives qualified approval to 6 kings in Judah, Asa, Jehoshaphat, Joash, Azariah, Hezekiah, and Josiah, Ben Sira's less generous assessment restricts itself to Hezekiah and Josiah. A wordplay on the name Hezekiah enables Ben Sira to speak about the king's strengthening of the capital city, Jerusalem. He fortified Hazak. To provide water for the inhabitants of the city, Hezekiah ordered workers to dig a tunnel 1,749 feet from the spring of Gihon to the pool of Salom. And that's in 2 Kings 20:20 and also in 2 Chronicles. In 1880, this tunnel was discovered, along with an inscription describing how this remarkable feat was accomplished.
Oh, wow, that's cool.
That is cool.
Yeah.
Is it legitimate, though? Is it a legitimate metal? Describing it? Has there been, like, spectral analysis?
I have no idea.
Oh, shoot. That'd be cool, though.
But, I mean, these are, it's a critical commentary. They're usually pretty spot on about this stuff, or at least they note that, here's, some debate around this.
Right.
So we'll go with it.
Anyways.
That's pretty cool.
Hezekiah fortified his city and had water brought within it with bronze
there's
tools.
the fortified one. That's
Yes.
the pun, yeah.
With bronze tools, he cut through the rocks and dammed up a mountain site for a reservoir. During his reign, Sennacherib led an invasion and sent his adjutant.
There's no way it says those words in that order.
Adjutant. How do you pronounce that?
Adjutant.
And there's no N before the T.
What verse?
18.
I want to add one.
Well, I don't have that word. I have, so in his day, Sennacherib came up and sent Rabshakeh, who stretched forth his hand against Zion.
Oh, yeah. Who shook his fist at Zion and blasphemed God in his pride. Well, that's weird. So they actually name a person in there.
Yeah.
I wonder.
Here's a note on this, actually.
There's no note in here on it.
Bummer. Luckily, this has one. So yeah, he's mentioning, Sennacherib's invasion. And there are three different versions of that.
Mm-hmm.
So there's the one in 2 Kings. There's the one in 2 Chronicles. Well, I guess the one in 2 Chronicles would have gotten it from 2 Kings. But other than that, let's see. There's the one in Isaiah in 36, which we will get to. And
so here's what that means.
Okay. Adjutant. A military officer who acts as an administrative assistant to a senior officer. Okay. That makes sense.
Okay. And then there's the altogether different account in the Annals of Sennacherib. So whereas the biblical story attributes Sennacherib's withdrawal and the and the death of 185,000 of his soldiers to the Lord's angel, Ben Sirach states that a plague ravaged the invading camp. The reference in Herodotus to a bubonic plague, often used to support the account in Isaiah 36, 1-22, lacks evidentiary force. Such a plague would not have been restricted to the invading army, assuming that Herodotus recalled the incident.
The people's hearts melted within them. They were in anguish like that of childbirth. But they called upon the Most High God and lifted up their hands to him. He heard the prayer they uttered and saved them through Isaiah.
As is tradition.
Yeah. God struck the camp of the Assyrians and routed them with a plague. For Hezekiah did what was right and held fast to the paths of David, as ordered by the illustrious prophet Isaiah, who saw the truth in visions. In his lifetime, he turned back the sun and prolonged the life of a king.
Yeah, turning back the sun. So I mean, the closest, parallel text wise, that would be, if you remember, the story of Joshua. But this is not, of course, the story of Joshua. Yeah, I got nothing on this.
Yeah, they had an extra day in the Joshua story, right? Where they held the sun still for the day. Yeah, this is not that.
No, I don't think it's literal. I think it's like he, preserved a certain person in time.
Okay, right? So
and like who is going.
So the
to
reference
die.
to Isaiah's visions Cross-reference Isaiah 6, 1 through 13 introduces specific praise of the prophet, the sign that promised an extended lifespan to the king, namely the backward movement of the shadow on a stairway. 2 Kings 20, 6 through 11, and Isaiah 38, 5 through 8. So, there you go.
Yeah, he prolonged Hezekiah's life by 15 years. It says, through Isaiah's intercession, Hezekiah received a sign that he would be cured of his illness. The shadow cast by the sun on the stairway to the terrace of Ahaz went back the 10 steps it had advanced.
Oh, that's what that was.
2
Okay.
Kings
I remember that.
28 through 11.
Pretty brief thing.
Yeah.
though.
Isaiah 38, 7 through 8. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, wait, that was I thought that was like on a sundial though. Like something like a sundial, right? Wasn't it?
Was it?
Or they
Staircase, but I don't remember either.
Oh, okay, whatever.
It's a staircase.
We'll go with staircase.
The
for now.
commentary says staircase.
Okay.
By his dauntless spirit, he looked into the future and consoled the mourners of Zion. He foretold what should be till the end of time, hidden things that were yet to be fulfilled.
Spooky.
Ooh, and that is the end of chapter 48. If you're enjoying the stream so far, give us a like, subscribe, comment, share it with your friends, family, neighbors, countrymen. Lend us their ears. Make
You lend us their ears.
Yep.
Yeah, take them and give them to us.
Make sacrifices in our name, not of animals or people, but like monetary sacrifices. We accept US dollars.
Actually, Ball
Yeah.
accepts US dollars.
Ball accepts US dollars. And once we hit $666 in donations, we're going to get a thetan meter. We're going to see who the most clear is. We're going to explain how the thetan meter works.
And we're going to manipulate it. We're going to have some fun learning about Scientology.
Yes, we are. Hopefully.
Either way, next chapter, shall we? And there's actually nothing in here that's actually useful.
Wonderful.
Yeah, for chapter 49. So I can hop right into chapter 49 whenever.
Yeah, okay.
You could?
So yes, so this is about Josiah, the good old Josiah,
Mhm.
restoring things to the way they should be.
Whoops.
Great.
The name of Josiah is as sweet-smelling incense that is well mixed, the work of the apothecary. The memorial of him is sweet in the palate like honey, and as music at a banquet of wine. For he was grieved at their backslidings, and caused the vain abominations to cease.
So those are
The high
idols.
places also.
Idols in here. It says also the remark that he grieved over Judah's betrayals refers to Josiah's reaction upon hearing the content of the book of the law, reportedly uncovered during repairs to the temple. 2 Kings 22, 10 through 19.
Yeah, which was for a long time recognized as Deuteronomy, or at least some early form of Deuteronomy. Either way. And he gave his heart wholly to God, and in days of violence he practiced piety until he died not too long after at the hands of an Egyptian,
Yeah.
the Pharaoh.
Oof.
Bummer.
It's rough.
And that's all you're getting about Josiah. Let's move on to the next important guy.
Ooh, that's pretty short.
Yep. You'd think Josiah would get more attention, but I guess he was not really a miracle.
Well, he's
kinda guy.
included in further verses.
Yeah, I guess
Yeah.
that's fair.
He's
Well,
not
we'll see.
abandoned.
We'll see about that. Excepting David, Hezekiah, and Josiah, they all dealt corruptly.
Except for...
And okay, yeah.
Yeah.
And forsook. So yeah, those are the only three good ones: David, Hezekiah, and Josiah.
Yep.
So
According to
to Ben Sira, yeah,
Ben Sira.
and that's way more strict than the stuff we actually get from the King's narratives.
Right.
and forsook the law of the Most High, the kings of Judah until their end. And their might was given to others, and their glory to a strange nation.
So where it says might, this can be translated as horn.
Oh, but that would make sense. Yeah, like the horn of glory stuff.
Manuscript B reads, he left their power in the lurch, but the Le'ahar read by Greek and Syriac is demanded by the parallel foreign nation. In Manuscript B, foreign is preceded by foolish, a gloss based on Deuteronomy 32:21.
I mean, horns were used a lot,
Mhm.
and especially in times of war.
So there's some things going on there.
Yeah. So if it's literally horn, I guess that it would mean might. Yeah, so anyways, they were taken over is the idea there.
Yeah.
And so the holy city was burned, and the ways thereof laid waste, through Jeremiah, because they persecuted him, and he a prophet from the womb.
So this is a paraphrase for by the hands of Jeremiah, which equates to the events in verses 5 through 6 with the mission of Jeremiah as described in his own words in 7 CD.
Yeah, so this next part here is a quotation. To pluck up, to break down, and to destroy, and likewise to build and to plant. And to strengthen. Yeah, but the reference there was to Jeremiah 1:10.
Mhm.
And then there's just the addition of and to strengthen.
Mhm.
And now we're done with Jeremiah.
Now we're going into...
Ezekiel, Job, and the 12 prophets.
So these 12 prophets, these prophets appear in Ben Sira's list as a single entity, like the book of the 12 in the HB.
In the Hebrew Bible, yeah.
Yeah.
Usually it's just the one book.
Yeah. He uses for the second time the formula, may their bones send forth new life from where they lie, which was also in 46:12,
Yeah.
with reference to an unnamed judge.
Ezekiel saw a vision and declared the different beings of the chariot. He also made mention of Job among the prophets, who was complete in all the ways of righteousness. Job among the prophets.
Yeah. Well, it doesn't
Usually
say.
it's part of wisdom literature.
Yeah.
I feel like it could be somewhat prophetic in the sense that he talks to God. Like, he gets to talk to God. He's sort of a prophet. He's not a prophet, but he's sort of. Job
he was talking to God. But
Yeah.
Did God talk to him? Maybe
think so.
near the end?
Pretty sure.
Pretty sure he gets to talk to God.
Near the end? Probably?
Yeah, he gets.
Yeah, because before he was talking to
judged.
his friends and he was
Right.
talking to some other
Yeah,
dude
he-
that comes out of nowhere.
He gets his comeuppance.
Well, I mean, he
There's
basically,
like a response from Yahweh.
yeah, I guess.
So I'm not saying he's a prophet. I'm saying he can at least talk to God, though, and that's.
No, but I'm saying he's not
Part of
usually
that.
included in the prophets.
I wouldn't normally either. No, this guy does, though, is all I'm
He's
saying.
in
He's-
the book of prophets, isn't he?
No,
He's not.
it's wisdom literature.
Job's in the writings.
Yeah, isn't it? I'm pretty sure, dude, because it's wisdom. It's wisdom literature.
You're right, Lawrence. That's how it's classified now. I'm just saying that he had his own way of looking at it, and he's trying to justify that. Probably. Let's hear about it.
Was it
instead.
always in the writings?
I mean, these.
How permanent is
They-
this
no,
classification?
the thing is, it goes back really far, even to the time of Josephus. It's not like a modern thing.
Okay.
Like, it's ancient.
Does Ben Sira predate Josephus?
Yeah.
Is it possible that
I think there's some stuff that's older than Josephus as well. That notes about these divisions. Sometimes it's unclear about when the divisions, like what the division actually includes.
Yeah.
But wisdom, prophets, and law were always the
I'm not
divisions.
saying he's using the divisions or thinking about them either. I'm just saying that he's calling him prophetic.
Yeah, he's outright calling. Well, it doesn't say that he's a prophet in my translation.
I mean,
what does he say in
it
yours?
says he also referred to Job, who always held fast to the ways of righteousness.
Okay, so yeah, that would be completely different then, because so it matters if he's using the word prophet or not. Because if he was among the actual prophets, like the thing is, it doesn't just because God is talking to you, it does not make you a prophet. Because God talked to David, David isn't considered a prophet.
Yeah, and you need to be delivered prophecy about future events in order to be a prophet.
Accurate. Or if they're wrong, you're not a prophet.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that.
Either way, that was tangential as fuck. He also made mention of Job among the prophets, who was complete in all the ways of righteousness. And also the 12 prophets. May their bones sprout beneath them, who made Jacob whole and delivered him by confident hope.
Yeah, that's the thing that was mentioned.
Oh, sorry. That last
The
part's actually a
bones
question.
Bringing back to life.
Yeah, but that's actually a question. Who made Jacob whole and delivered him by confident hope?
It's
That's
a rhetorical question.
Yes. But I had to change the inflection there.
It's not a question in this translation.
Well then, it's a question in here. How and then it pops up to some other people. How shall we magnify Zerubbabel? He indeed was a signet on the right hand.
So the designation of Zerubbabel as a signet ring derives from the messianic aspirations reflected in Hag 2:23. What's Hag?
Haggai,
Oh, okay.
prophet.
2:23, which seems to have surfaced in connection with the newly founded community and its cult in 516 BCE.
Well, that's something.
Yep.
And also, Jesus, the son of Yosedek. What does yours say for verse 12?
Verse 12. And Yeshua, son of Josadak.
Okay. Yeah, that's a reference to...
Yeah, what's going on here?
You think
Verse
it's
12.
Joshua.
There's some damage in manuscript B, as you might expect. Let's see. Is there anything in here? This is not organized.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh, I think this is part of the temple building, the temple rebuilding.
Is it?
Yeah,
What verse is it?
verse 12.
Verse 12?
Yeah, because it goes on here, who in their days built the house and set up on high the holy temple, which was prepared for everlasting glory. And then next, because it had Zerubbabel before, right? And then it goes on in verse 13, Nehemiah, glorious is his memory, who raised up our ruins and healed our breaches and set up gates and bars.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think it's going back to Joshua, but it was someone who was included in the temple rebuilding, is my guess.
Yeah. Zerubbabel and Jeshua, son of Josadak, were the ones responsible for rebuilding the altar and the holy temple.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay.
And then this next section here is on the patriarchs. Few have been created on the earth like Enoch. He also was taken up from off the face thereof. And then these next verses are kind of mixed up here. So I'm going to tell you the verse order that this comes in.
Mm-hmm.
So I just read verse 14. And now it's 15a, 15c, 16, and then 15b.
Okay.
Yeah. That's
okay.
the order there.
I have 14, 15, 16.
Well, and no other 15 after that?
No.
Okay. Like Joseph was ever a man born, his body also was visited.
Was another like Joseph ever born? Even his dead body was provided for.
Yep, fair enough. But I would go with yes. Ever been to Egypt, Joseph?
Yeah.
Anyways.
I think that was the whole point of the story, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
yeah.
Yeah.
Shem and Seth with Enoch were visited.
Enosh.
Enosh. Okay. Yeah, okay. So if yours has Enosh, it would be God, I forget whose son that was. Was it Adam's son? Was Enosh the other one?
Mm-hmm.
Or was it Noah's?
Enosh. Okay. Names Adam, Seth, and Enosh also appear. Yeah. Enosh, firstborn of Seth, was an upright person, for during his day people began to call upon the name of Yahweh.
Gotcha. Okay. But above every living thing was the glory of Adam.
Yeah, so there's a few things here.
Oh, I got one more verse.
No, do it.
Yeah. So this is so this is 15b, and it's the next section, but it's not the end of the chapter.
Mm-hmm.
It's the last part.
Does it say greatest among his kindred?
Yeah, great among his brethren.
That's in my thing, in my 51.
Ah, okay then.
Okay, there's a thing. After this colon, Greek introduces 51a. But about
Makes
this bit here, they're talking about Adam. So the idealization of Adam occurs here for the first time in Jewish literature. Later, it played an important part in the development of the messianic doctrine of the second Adam regarding Tiferet Adam.
Yeah, that's why Jesus had to be human. He had to be the Son of Man.
Yeah.
In order to be the second one, yeah.
And it's the second Adam who would appear in the messianic age. That's what it's about.
Fun times.
Well, that's how people got into it. Anyways, I think that's the end.
Yeah.
Unless, well, I mean, you read like half the verse. So.
Yeah, you can feel free to reread it. Why not?
Okay. Why not? If you're enjoying the stream so far, like, share, subscribe, do all the stuff.
All the good stuff that YouTubers like people doing with their videos.
Yeah.
Do that. You know what it is.
Mm-hmm.
It says what it is.
It does.
It's.
But don't be condescending. They know what it is.
Hey, no. Yeah.
There's a bell.
There's a bell. You can touch the bell if you want. You don't have to. It's
just greatly appreciated.
It's probably beneficial.
All right, how about we hop into chapter 50?
Yeah, why don't we do that then? All right. Greatest among his kindred, the glory of his people, was Simeon the priest, the son of Jochanan, in whose time the house of God was renovated, in whose days the temple was reinforced.
So do you remember Simeon in Maccabees?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the high priest. Well, he was, at this point in time, he was probably dead, because the specific wording here, in whose time, and the Greek is actually os en zooto, meaning in whose life, or in his life. And that implies that he's already dead.
All right.
Yeah. But yeah, he was very, very important. People loved him. And then came, Antiochus and
all that,
all those guys,
the stuff that we
Seleucid
covered
stuff
before in our Maccabees stuff. Yeah. And eventually we might do 3rd and 4th Maccabees.
Maybe.
What about 5th Maccabees? 6th Maccabees.
I don't know if they have
10th Maccabees.
10th Maccabees. Wow.
We could write it.
We could.
after we read all the other Maccabees.
Now, is it just other accounts of the same events?
Yeah,
Oh, it's
I'm
our
assuming.
Okay, that's
It's
what we're
our
going to do.
account from way later.
It'll be our
We have to go
account.
there.
Our account. Okay.
We have to go to the battle site, and we
Yep.
have to make our account.
Mhm.
2,000 years
We'll
later.
use your epic tracking abilities that you gained while you lived in the woods.
Yeah.
Yeah, those
Yep.
unspoken tracking abilities of epic proportion.
I got them.
So here's Simeon. In his time also the retaining wall was built for the residence precinct with its temple of the king. Temple of the king. Ooh.
So, verses 1 through 4.
Is he talking about that place that they were all in the whole time?
Oh, yeah, the I forget what it's called.
It starts with an A, doesn't it?
The Accra.
The Accra.
Yeah. So yeah, verses 1 through 4 continue the dominant theme of the praise of Hezekiah, Josiah, and Nehemiah. The strengthening of the city and improvement of its supply of water. A similar account of repairs in the early 2nd century appears in Josephus, who quotes a letter attributed to Antiochus III to the governor of Palestine after the Battle of Panaeus in 199 BCE. If these reports are trustworthy, they indicate enormous political power resting in the hands of the religious leaders at the time. You know, if the people in the crowd tonight would like me to go pull up this specific reference, because I think I might have it.
You might.
Yes,
They
I could
should
find
say
this.
They should then.
Yes, say okay, because I can go pull it up because I forget who it was, but someone got us the complete works of Josephus, and
Yes,
they're
they
sitting
did.
over there.
You'd have to go get them.
Yeah, I have to go get them. But I could pull up this specific passage and read it. So tell me if you want that.
You've got 18,000 seconds.
I
That-
mean,
Might be excessive.
I could just keep reading this.
Go ahead, yeah. You keep doing that.
Yep.
But also, I just kind of feel like maybe that book should see some use.
Maybe it should. Maybe you should have pulled it out here at some point.
I should, yeah.
Yep.
It looks nice, too.
Yeah. Why isn't it on the table?
We usually don't need it.
I mean, that's no reason to.
I guess, yeah.
We still have the Old Testament survey.
We
here.
actually sometimes use that one, though.
Sometimes
We still
could
have the
sometimes use
Oxford
Josephus.
Companion to the Bible. That has been entirely
Utterly
useless.
Yeah, it has. In his day, the reservoir was dug, the pool with a vastness like the seas. He took care for his people against brigands and strengthened his city against the enemy. How splendid he was as he looked forth from the tent, as he came from the house of the veil, like a star shining among the clouds, like the full moon at the holy day season.
Yeah, so this actually tells us quite a bit of stuff. It's actually a very important detail. So in verses 5 through 22, Ben Sira describes Simeon's appearance on a special occasion in the temple, either on Yom Kippur, the Day of Atonement, or at a celebration of the daily whole offering. Most interpreters opt for the first of these, largely on the basis of the proclamation of the ineffable name in verse 20. Naturally, this view rests on the assumption that by Ben Sira's day, the divine name Yahweh had become so holy that no one pronounced it, with a single exception, the high priest on the Day of Atonement. This interpretation has recently been challenged, primarily on the basis of the description of the Tamid offering in the Mishnah tractate Tamid 6:3 through 7:3. But this new understanding of Ben Sira's text makes two major assumptions. One, that the later tractate accurately describes the sacrificial ritual from the 2nd century BCE. And two, that the differences between the two accounts, the omission of the incense offering and the placing of the blessing last instead of third, derive from an accident, the incense offering, or from an intentional change to achieve dramatic effect. The issue cannot be decided on the basis of the evidence available today, and the description in verses 5 through 21 may be purposely general.
It says there are several possible reasons for the blessing at the end. So, anyways, let's continue. What verse was that? We were just talking about the holy day season. Yeah. Yom Kippur. Like the sun shining on the temple of the king, like the rainbow appearing on the cloudy sky, like the blossoms of the branches in springtime, like a lily by running waters, like the verdure of Lebanon in summer, like the blaze of incense at the sacrifice, like a vessel of beaten gold, studded with an assortment of precious stones, like a luxuriant olive tree thick with fruit, a plant whose branches run with oil, wearing his splendid robes and vested in sublime magnificence as he ascended the glorious altar and lent majesty to the court of the sanctuary.
Lots of, wow.
Still talking about Simeon here.
Yeah, still Simeon.
We've got one vote, and it's to do it. There you go.
You got one vote? Go get your
I'll go get the
Josephus.
Josephus book. You can feel free to.
Okay. I'm still talking about Simeon here. When he received these sundered victims from his brother priests, while he stood before the sacrificial hearth, his sons ringed him about like a garland, like young cedars on Lebanon, and like poplars by the brook, they clustered around him. All the sons of Aaron in their dignity, with the offerings to the Lord in their hands, in the presence of the whole assembly of Israel.
Hello.
Welcome back.
Yeah.
Once he had completed the service at the altar and arranged the sacrificial hearth for the Most High, and had stretched forth his hand for the cup to offer blood of the grape, and poured it out at the foot of the altar, a sweet-smelling odor to God the Most High.
What verse are you at?
15, I just finished.
Gotcha. Okay.
The sons of Aaron would sound a blast, the priests on their trumpets of beaten metal, a blast to resound mightily as a reminder before the Most High. Then all the people with one accord would quickly fall prostrate to the ground in adoration before the Most High, before the Holy One of Israel. You know, that's what they do in Muslim countries, right? They have a chime, a thing that goes off. It says when people are supposed to pray for the 5 daily prayers, right?
Oh, yeah, they do have that.
Yeah. I mean, it's not quite a horn on beaten metal, but it's roughly the same idea.
Same function.
Yep. Then hymns would re-echo, and over the throng sweet strains of praise resound. All the people of the land would shout for joy, praying to the Merciful One, as the high priest completed the service at the altar by presenting to God the sacrificial due.
So there is a note here on the people of the land, Haras. So in verse 19. Originally, it referred to persons who had high social standing, the term people of the land. But eventually it came to refer to those lacking society's esteem.
Wow,
Here they
flipped.
Yeah. Here they represent the congregation singing and praying in the presence of the merciful God. Merciful.
Yeah.
Either way.
Merciful. Then, okay, the hymns are re-echoing, people are praying, all of this stuff is happening. Then, coming down, he would raise his hands over the congregation of Israel. The blessing of the Lord would be upon his lips. The name of the Lord would be his glory. Then again, the people would lie prostrate, receiving the blessing from the Most High. And now, bless the God of all, who has done stupendous things on earth, who makes humans grow from their mother's womb, and does with them according to his will. That's not how babies are born. May he grant you wisdom of heart. Okay, there's different 23s and 24s. It goes 23, 24, 23, 24.
Huh, okay. So it's split like that.
Maybe they're alternate versions.
Yeah, because I just have 23 and then 24.
Well, these alternate ones are Greek. So I'll read 23 and 24 and then read Greek 23 and 24. May he grant you wisdom of heart, and may he abide among you as peace. May his kindness towards Simeon be lasting. May he fulfill for him the covenant with Phinehas, so that it may not be abrogated for him or for his descendants while the heavens last.
You know, I do have a note here on that specific thing.
Mm-hmm.
So it's about verses 23 and 24.
Well, let me read 23 and 24 in Greek first. The Greek versions. Unless you want to go into like a huge amount of depth.
It's not a huge amount of depth.
The other version.
It's not huge, but it does illuminate this.
Okay.
So because of the gracious gift of life, he calls on God to grant permanent well-being to Simeon and his descendants from the line of Phinehas. That wish was quickly frustrated with the assassination of his son Onias III. That's in 2 Maccabees 4:34. Hence, the translator removes this hope entirely from the Greek text, making the specific reference a general one applying to all Israel. It's gotta love those redactions, huh?
Yeah, well, this is the Greek. It says, may he grant us joy of heart, 23, and may there be peace in our days in Israel as in the days of old. Then 24, may his kindness remain constantly with us, and may he save us in our days. So,
Yeah.
different. Very different. Anyways, now, we're in a different section. This is the conclusion of the book.
This is initially the conclusion of the book, but there are later emendations and prayers. Although, I'm not going to read this whole thing because it's actually kind of long. I don't know why I suggested this, but so this was bought by a patron. If you would like to help us out with some books, feel free to go onto our Amazon wish list right here. Here's the complete works of Josephus. Fantastic stuff. And the thing that we were referencing before, that letter, King Antiochus to Ptolemy sendeth greeting. And it starts, since the Jews, upon our first entrance on their country, demonstrated their friendship towards us, and when we came to their city, Jerusalem, received us in a splendid manner, and came to meet us with their senate, and gave abundance of provisions to our soldiers and to the elephants, and joined with us in ejecting the garrisons of the Egyptians that were in the citadel, we have thought it fit to reward them and retrieve the condition of their city, which hath been greatly depopulated by such accidents as have befallen its inhabitants, and to bring those that have been scattered abroad back to the city. And in the first place, we have determined, on account of their piety towards God, to bestow on them as a pension for their sacrifices of animals that are fit for sacrifice, for wine and oil and frankincense, the value of 20,000 pieces of silver and 6 sacred artebrae of fine flour, with 1,000. They just pay him a whole bunch of stuff, basically. Yeah.
All right. So this is the last bit of chapter 50. My whole being loathes 2 nations. The third is not even a people. Those who live in Seir and Philistia.
Seir and Philistia, yeah.
Yep. And the foolish folk who dwell in Shechem. Training in wise conduct and smooth running proverbs have been written in this book of Yeshua ben Eleazar ben Sirach, who poured them out from his understanding of heart. Happy the one who reflects on these, Wise will he be who takes them to heart. If he carries them out, he will be equal to any challenge, for the fear of the Lord will provide him with depth.
Yeah. So here's some commentary on the nations there. The Philistines, who gave their name to the land of Palestine, had vanished long before Ben-Sirah's time. Thus, he may be referring to the pro-Hellenistic people dwelling along the seacoast. By Sair, he indicates the Idumeans, loathed because of their ancestors' treatment of Jews during the Babylonian conquest of Jerusalem. Soon after Ben-Sirah's time, they were forcibly converted to Judaism by John Hyrcanus, if you remember, also from Maccabees. Yeah. The Samaritans, inhabitants of the area around Shechem, had intermarried with the population settled in the vicinity after the expulsion of the Jewish landowners into Babylonian captivity. In the 4th century BCE, Ezra and Nehemiah rebuffed the Samaritans' offer to help restore the sanctuary at Jerusalem. Hostilities between the two groups increased because of the existence of a rival temple on Mount Gerizim near Shechem, exacerbated by their claim to be the legitimate descendants of Phinehas. So, as you remember, we've discussed this before, even back when we were in the Torah. Samaritan was used to just indicate the half-breeds, basically. So they were not very well liked. And such intense dislike actually led to the destruction of the temple on Mount Gerizim in 128 BCE.
Yes. Well, then, I've looked ahead, and it appears that you have 3 prayers to read.
Yep.
One of them is an acrostic poem.
Yep.
Wonderful.
Don't you just love acrostic poems?
Oh, yeah, they're my favorite.
Yeah. I could sense the genuineness in your voice. Legitimately, I could. There was no hint of sarcasm detected.
All right.
Good. I intended it to be that way.
Yeah, I know. I don't know what that was for. We're having a very serious discussion here, Chris.
Yeah, this is like scholarship, man.
Yeah, that's exactly why he added comma man at the end of his sentence, because this is a scholarly discussion.
Yeah.
And the epithet man is reserved specifically for that.
Explicitly and exclusively.
All right, how about we hop into the final chapter of the day and the final chapter of Ben-Sirah.
Well, let's do that.
Yeah, let's do that. Yeah, it's just labeled appendix to the book. Yeah, it's just some additions here. And one of the additions is not even actually broken up into verses. So it's basically like 2 chapters. But we'll go with it anyways. I will thank thee, Jehovah, O King. I will praise thee, O God of my salvation. I will declare thy name, thou strength of my life. For thou hast redeemed my soul from death. Thou hast kept back my flesh from the pit. You know, I don't know how well that stands with... I don't know. I guess it's fine. And hast delivered my feet from the hand of Sheol. Thou didst preserve me from the slander of the people, from the scourge of a slanderous tongue, and from the lips of those who turn aside to lying. Thou wast with me in the presence of those who rose up against me. So I'm guessing the references there in verse 2 are about the the people who just spread rumors about those people.
Mm-hmm. I think so.
Yeah, and it spared him from having rumors spread about him, I'm guessing.
Yeah,
I think there should be some commentary on the slanderous
some
tongue.
Charts of like
Is that a slanderous tongue?
verbs and personage. But if there's anything about a slanderous tongue, it says, how far we can rightly detect in the poem the author's own experiences is uncertain. The poem may be a literary piece using traditional phrases for similar experiences. Did Sirach, for example, really suffer from a slanderous tongue and lips that fabricate lies? We do not know. But some phrases clearly are only literary images. Grinding teeth, choking fire, and the deep belly of Hades, the underworld, are clearly not intended literally. Although it is possible that the lengthy attention given to the slander of the unrighteous tongue may recall some crisis over no human assistance. In verse 7.
Thou didst help me according to the abundance of thy mercy, out of the snares of those watching for my downfall, and from the hand of those that seek my life, out of many troubles that thou saved me. So, or hast thou saved me? Now, a lot of the stuff there has popped up everywhere. You know, talking about the snares specifically, that comes up in Proverbs and in Psalms. It's everywhere. Seeking their life. Abundance of thy mercy. I think we've run across that one a couple times. But either way, lots of stock phrases. And from the straits of the flame round about me, from the midst of the fire that I kindled not. We didn't start the fire. It was always burning.
Yep, thank you.
The world's been turning.
Oh, yes.
You're welcome. From the deep of the belly of Sheol, from wickedly devising lips, and from them that plaster falsehood, and from the arrows of a deceitful tongue, my soul drew nigh unto death, and my life to the nethermost Sheol. But I'm guessing that, he was saved by the Lord.
Yeah.
God helped him out there. And I turned about on every side, and there was none that helped me. Yea, I looked for one to uphold, but there was none. Then I remembered the loving kindness of Jehovah and his mercies which have been from of old. He delivereth them that put their trust in him, and redeemeth them from all evil. And I lifted up my voice from the earth, and from the gates of Sheol I cried. Yea, I cried, Jehovah, my Father art thou, my God, and the strength of my salvation.
Addressing Yahweh as my Father, Sirach begs God not to forsake him. The prayer concludes with the declaration that the Lord listened to the plea and acted on behalf of the supplicant. So
Yeah, as is tradition.
yeah.
So anyways, his prayer continues. Forsake me not in the day of my trouble, in the day of wasteness and desolation. I will praise thy name continually, and will remember thee in prayer. Then did Jehovah hear my voice, and gave ear to my supplication. And he redeemed from all evil, and delivered me in the day of trouble. Therefore will I give thanks unto him, and praise him, and I will bless the name of Jehovah.
So after 51:12 comes a litany of praise without verse numbers, which occurs only in the Hebrew and not in the Greek. The psalm is completely biblical in its phraseology and using familiar titles like the Shield of Abraham and the Mighty Ones of Jacob. There's more about this. So the dual epithet for God, Lord and King, together with Father, recalls common expressions in ancient Jewish prayers, e.g. Our Father, Our Sovereign, in the prayer by the name, and Great Love in the 18 benedictions, where the clause begins with Our Father and Our King alternatively. So a litany of praise follows this prayer in manuscript B, but it doesn't appear in the Greek, the Syriac, or any translations based on them. Moreover, the Greek text has a title for the entire chapter, The Prayer of Jesus, Son of Sirach, which applies only to verses 1 through 12. Although the litany doesn't appear to have been written by Ben Sira, it dates from before 152 BCE, when the Hasmonean Jonathan received the high priesthood as a reward for supporting Alexander Belas of Syria, which implies the Zadokites are still in control of the priesthood. Delela conjectures that a member of the Essene community at Qumran wrote the psalm and inserted it into a copy of Sirach that found its way into a cave near Jericho and eventually into the hands of Carolites, who made copies that were discovered in Cairo, Geniza, between 1896 and 1900.
Yeah, and his argument is right there in that book that we have.
Ooh, he snuck this in.
There's a whole bunch of linguistic crap in there.
Of course, yeah.
Right? It's like
It should give you a page number.
It's this kind of stuff.
I see that.
Right? You got charts of verb tenses.
Oh, yeah, and how it could have been used in slightly different ways and pretty much branched off.
Yeah. It's a lot. I don't want to do it.
Fair enough.
But, so it says the divine epithets in 51:12, 10 through 12 derive from the patriarchal narratives, the shield of Abraham, rock of Isaac, mighty one of Jacob.
Yeah, we're not even
So
not there yet.
we're not there yet.
So anyways, this is just labeled here a thanksgiving. And you will very shortly see why. Give thanks unto Jehovah, for he is good, for his mercy endureth forever. Give thanks to the God of praises, for his mercy endureth forever. Give thanks unto the keeper of Israel, for his mercy endureth forever. Give thanks unto the to the framer of all. And you want to know why? For his mercy endureth forever.
Oh, man, I was going to guess.
Well, don't worry. I'm going to give you another shot here. Give thanks unto the Redeemer of Israel.
Is it because his mercy endureth forever?
Yes!
Oh,
fantastic!
Man, I'm so good at
You
this.
are a man of the
Oh,
Lord!
I've done it. Give me that cloth right now.
Incredible.
Give thanks unto him that gathereth the outcasts of Israel. Someone say it.
Is it because his mercy endureth forever?
Yes, you
I
are
did
correct.
it again. Man, 2 cloths. All right.
Give thanks unto him that buildeth his city and his sanctuary.
Endureth forever.
His mercy
Mercy
endureth
forever.
You are both correct.
Oh, man, wow.
Yeah.
Give thanks unto him that causeth a horn to sprout for the house of David. For his mercy endureth forever. Give thanks unto him that chooseth the sons of Zadok for priests. Oh, so he liked Zadokites.
Yeah, that's the mention
Yeah.
that's in there.
For his mercy endureth forever. Give thanks unto the shield of Abraham, for his mercy endureth forever. Give thanks unto the rock of Isaac, for his mercy endureth forever. Give thanks unto the mighty one of Jacob, for his mercy endureth forever. Give thanks unto him that chooseth Zion, for his mercy endureth forever. Give thanks unto the King of the kings of kings, for his mercy.
Give thanks to the King of the kings of kings.
Yes.
Oh, man, that's even better.
You want to know why?
We need a t-shirt. We need a King of the Kings of Kings t-shirt.
Okay, we can have that.
It's going to be great. And you
picture
all
of a
can
king that
buy
says
it
thank you.
With 3 crowns.
on our Teespring.
Yeah, that's where you'll get all of our shirts, actually. That's where
Wacky
they are
and
sold.
fun.
Yeah.
So I just won Mercy Enduring Forever bingo. I
Yes.
got them all in a row. Thank you.
And
Please
he,
don't take a shot every time his mercy
Don't.
endures forever.
Please don't. And he hath exalted the horn of his people, the praise of all his pious ones, for the children of Israel, a people nigh unto him. Chris, you want to finish this one off?
No, but his mercy endureth forever?
No, you idiot. It's hallelujah.
It
Hallelujah.
says, praise the Lord.
I'm so stupid. Oh, no.
That's what
I failed.
hallelujah means.
Yep. But they didn't say hallelujah in this translation. They
Yeah.
said praise the Lord.
Okay. Wow. I was shouting for a while there. I'm going to drink some water.
Why don't you drink some water? Because after this, we're about to go into something here There's an seemingly autobiographical, originally acrostic poem, each verse beginning with the next letter of the alphabet. An order is shown by the original version found at Qumran. Now, let's go into detail here. A copy of this poem has been found in a scroll from Qumran, 11 QPS, containing the lines Aleph through Kaf. In the translation by J.A. Sanders, this poem is interpreted as an erotic text, and various scholars have offered alternative readings. However, an erotic understanding of personified wisdom certainly exists in Proverbs 8 and Wisdom 7. However, one views Ben Sira as acrostic. So
I guess we will see if it's erotic or not.
yes.
I was a youth when I desired her and sought her out. In my youth I made supplication and prayer, and I will seek her out even unto the end. She blossomed like a ripening grape. My heart rejoiced in her. My foot trod in her footstep. From my youth I learned wisdom. I bowed down mine ear a little and received her, and much knowledge I found. And her yoke was a glory unto me, and to my teacher do I offer thanks. I proposed to do good, and I will not turn back, for I will find her. My soul was attached to her, and my face I turned not away from her. I spread forth my hands to the heaven above, and forever and ever I will not swerve from her. My hand opened her gates. Okay, then.
Ooh.
This does sound kind of erotic. Let's
yeah. Yep.
let's be honest here. Yep. So my hand opened her gates, and unto her I entered, and looked upon her. I directed my soul after her, and in her purity I found her. It's a little erotic here, but I can also see this easily referring to, the house of wisdom,
Yeah.
where she was residing.
Yes. Could be.
Anyways.
Vagina.
And in her purity I found her. I got me understanding through her guidance.
There's
What's verse 20 for you?
I got me understanding through her guidance.
for I purified my hands in cleanliness I attained to her. At first acquaintance with her I gained understanding, such that I will never forsake her.
Okay, that's very different. Yeah, therefore shall I not be forsaken. Mine inward parts were troubled like an oven in my desire to look upon her. Therefore, I have gotten a good possession. See, it might be a typo. I don't know. But it does say, I got me understanding.
I got me understanding.
I got me understanding.
And then the note is that understanding means literally heart. So it could be read as, I got me heart through her guidance.
It's not even, it's still, it's still
I know,
terrible.
I know.
Just get rid of the I got me part. It's not good. Oh,
Maybe
or
it's a
great, or it's
typo.
great.
Yeah. Either way. Yeah, mine inward parts were troubled like an oven in my desire to look upon her. Therefore, I have gotten a good possession. Jehovah gave me the reward of my lips, and with my tongue do I praise him. Turn in unto me, ye unlearned, and lodge in my house of instruction. Should be some stuff on the house of instruction, I think.
I'm in my house of instruction.
Yeah.
Delilah claims that both the Greek and Syriac texts demand a reading of into the house of learning, and sees the play on words based on sor to be remote. Ben Sira's language about money, reward, and thirst may be purely metaphorical, like Proverbs, Isaiah, Amos.
Oh yeah, and that comes a little bit later here. Yeah. How long will ye lack these things? Instruction and learning. And your soul be so sore athirst. My mouth I open and speak of her. Get wisdom for yourselves without money. Bring your necks under her yoke, and her burden let your soul bear. She is nigh unto them that seek her, and he that yearneth for her, findeth her. And so it kind of seems like he's in this ending poem. It sounds like he's saying that feel free to go to his house and get an education.
Yeah.
Because he's just giving out wisdom.
Yep.
Yeah. After chasing her so hard. See with your eyes that but a short time I labored for her and found abundance of peace. Hearken unto my teaching in however small a number, and much silver and gold will ye acquire thereby.
Yeah.
So it's a way to get money.
Yeah.
Get really smart.
You can practice sophistry. You can teach people how to argue.
Yeah.
Here's 3 memes. Get money, get smart, learn to code. There you go. Enjoy.
May my soul delight in my Yeshua.
What verse is that?
That is verse 29, and it says that it is an academy of learning. A Yeshua.
Let your being rejoice in the mercy of God,
Wow.
and be not ashamed to give him praise.
Yeah, and then the next one is, and ye shall not be ashamed to sing my praise.
Okay.
So that's an interesting one. I mean,
It doesn't really have anything.
if
on it.
okay, so if we are trying to make sense of this, then if you remember, may my soul delight in my Yeshua. So his Yeshua then, or his academy of learning, would be God in wisdom, right? And if you remember, when wisdom was residing in heaven, it could be interpreted as that. But I don't know where the translation's coming from, though.
No, neither do I.
Yeah.
I'm looking through here, and it doesn't have like anything.
Because I can see how it would, either school or like some divine version of a school. I don't know.
Divine school.
Where like a metaphorically, you get what I'm saying. The metaphorically divine school, whatever it is, however you want to understand it, whatever helps you get it. I don't know what the actual word that they're translating is. Maybe it is in fact just Yeshua.
It might be.
And they're just breaking the word differently. They're just amending it somehow. Yeah, and ye shall not be ashamed to sing my praise. Work your work before the time, and he will give you your reward in its time. Time for everything. Blessed be Jehovah, and praised be his name to generations. And then here is...
Mine doesn't have blessed be Jehovah and praised be his name for generations.
Really? After 30? Do you have anything after 30?
Let me flip. No, I have an index after 30.
Well then, let's talk about that then. So maybe as part of verse 30, I don't know, but there is a subscription. Which you should do. You should subscribe. It says, blessed be Jehovah and praised be his name to generations. Thus far, and then this next part that I'm about to read is the subscription.
Yeah, the Hebrew manuscript closes with a long subscript stating that the work has reached its conclusion and identifying its author as Simeon, the son of Jeshua, who is called Ben Sirach. It adds some thing. You'll read it.
Okay. Thus far, the words of Simeon, the son of Jeshua, that is called Ben Sirach. The wisdom of Simeon, the son of Jeshua, the son of Eliezer, the son of Sirach. May the name of Jehovah be blessed from now, even unto eternity.
Oh.
And that's it.
We have completed Sirach. What are your thoughts on Sirach?
Sirach, you sexist bastard.
Yeah.
You also you're trying real hard to make some philosophies work that don't necessarily stick together, but
No.
that's a good amount of biblical authors. And I don't really have much else to say other than get wrecked, scrub.
Yeah. Well,
Incredible.
Sirach,
And all of his good advice was just it's practical.
Really everybody
his good
should have done
advice
that.
is like simple.
Yeah.
And then when he tries thinking too hard, it all falls apart.
It becomes political and misogynistic and racist. It's just, if he tangents off the common grounds, he kind of goes hard in a bad direction.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm not a big fan of the wisdom.
Me neither. I very much we're gonna read it eventually. The alphabet of Ben Sira.
Yeah.
If you have not read the alphabet of Ben Sira, stay tuned when we get started with that one because it is hysterical. It is so fucking funny.
Yeah. Well, what are we covering next week?
Well, yeah, next week, and these books over here came in. Got a lot of books here. Oh man, I got to read through these too. So, we're starting Jubilees next week. If you would like to show them Jubilees.
Oh, look at that. The Hermenia translation, or Hermenea. Yep, there's Jubilees. All however many chapters. I see 49. It's either 49. Yep, 50 chapters. 50 chapters, Jubilees is what we're going into next. And it's a little different. It's not a wisdom book.
It isn't. Instead, we are covering, once again, Genesis and Exodus.
Great.
Better understand it this time.
Thanks a lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is like some other people in the desert who were like...
No, it's
okay.
basically a commentary on Genesis and Exodus.
Okay, it's a commentary on Genesis and Exodus.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's a retelling, but in a way it's a commentary.
Well, then I guess
We need commentary on
we can all
commentaries.
enjoy that.
yeah.
Great.
And
And we have commentaries on the commentary on Genesis.
yes, we do. So these are from the same author, James C. Vanderkam. We've covered his work before. This is a 2-volume work, 2-volume commentary on Jubilees, also from Hermenia, but probably the best critical, scholarly commentary series there is, I think.
Yeah. Well, it's pretty good.
Yeah, lots of textual notes, lots of really good stuff, honestly.
But we don't have that many other series to compare it to in front of us right now.
Well, yeah,
So-
there is that.
But if you would like to see more of that, you can donate to us. You can check us out on Patreon. You can check us out on our Amazon wish list.
Yeah, check us out on our Amazon wish list.
Yeah,
We'll be there.
That's our prime location.
Yeah, check us out on our email. Uh-huh.
Yep. Check us out, MilwaukeeAtheists@gmail.com.
We won't be needing
Go
this.
to Gmail,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, yeah, we won't be needing this.
I don't even know if we'll be needing this. I'll look through this stuff later. Either way. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. All the stuff he said about
All the things.
the Teespring and the Patreon,
Patreon, our 666 donation drive.
the wish list, all
Yeah,
that.
wish list. You're all familiar.
Yeah, you are. And if you're not, the links are in the description.
Yeah, they're all there. Check it out.
Facebook and Twitter, free to follow us there.
If you get us books, we'll cover things in more depth for you.
Yeah, speaking of books and videos because of those books.
Whoa.
Yeah, I know, crazy stuff we never talk about. So I have started working on the Heavenly Horseman video. So I posted about that earlier on the community tab.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's been a while.
It has been a while, you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's about time though.
I know. But either way, I'm going to be covering, the 4 horsemen, the stuff in Zechariah, some stuff in Isaiah, the stuff in Maccabees, remember?
Yeah.
The horsemen in
And
Maccabees.
what's the next council that you're covering?
Well, the next council would be the Council of Chalcedon.
So you can look out for that one eventually too.
Yeah. But either way, that's the end of the show for today. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you got at least something out of Sirach. Probably not though, but I hope you enjoyed the shows.
You got advice on which room to allow to be your daughter's bedroom.
You got a nice slice of history from a weird perspective. It's that's how I'd look at it.
Yeah, that is, it tells you a lot about the world these people lived in.
Yep.
Although, you're right though. The whole part about the daughter being like taught how to fuck by the mom or something. Or was that in this one, or was that in something else? Was it in Ben Sira? Yeah, because there's the whole thing about the daughter has to.
No, that was in the Song of Solomon.
What was it? Oh, it was in the Song of Solomon. You're right. Song of Songs.
Jeez, why are you bringing that up?
It's fucking.
It's way out there.
Yeah,
man.
I thought that's what you were referencing.
Gross. That's gross.
Blame the Bible.
Anyways, check us out on everything: Facebook, Twitter.
That's all the shilling that we're gonna do.
Until
See you on
Sunday.
Sunday.
Yeah.